Hello again and welcome back to the channel. And lately, the headlines that contain Eminem can't stop coming. Everyone want to talk about Eminem for some reason, and even those that were bodied in the past are now coming back for some more action on social media. Recently on a live stream on Instagram, Benzino, the guy that missed his boat and tried to eat off his toddler, talked about Eminem once again, and he had some things to share with us that we've all heard before. We've heard similar things from Jerome too, and what do these guys have in common? Well, for starters, their careers never took off, but the more obvious thing they have in common is that they just love to talk about the appearance of rappers like Eminem, and it's ironic because people listen to music. Now, towards the latter part of this video, I'll be dropping some hard facts about Benzino, and you don't want to miss it. I've already turned on the grill, and while we talk about his recent comments, we'll preheat the grill before the roasting begins. So in the recent livestream, Benzino made comments like, Eminem can put words together, and that's cool, but he's getting special treatment from MTV, radio, every publication and everybody, because the money comes from white kid rapping. I've always found statements like this to be funny because people like Benzino make it seem like no one was ever big in hip-hop before Eminem came along. Just because Eminem became the biggest doesn't mean no other black rapper succeeded before or after him, and there's been several black people that have dominated music in the US. By this logic, that shouldn't be happening because these artists didn't have blue eyes and blonde hair, since music consumers only enjoy the music of people that look like them. To me, that's how silly this sounds. So we are gonna ignore the countless multi-platinum certifications and few diamond certifications that other rappers have earned, focus on only Eminem's success and cry discrimination. Dr. Dre's 2001 was certified 6 times platinum in less than a year, and if that was a double album, that would be a diamond album today. Let's go back to 1995 for instance. Did you know that the biggest song globally of that year was a hip-hop song, and since then that's remained the only hip-hop song to end a year as the biggest song of the year worldwide, and not just in the United States. That song is Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio featuring LV, and I'm sure you guys know the color of their skin. But we have those like Benzino that think they failed because they don't look like 70% of the US population. Benzino also talked about the culture and how Eminem is not a part of the culture. It's funny because when you ask 10 rappers to define what they mean by the culture, they'll come up with 20 definitions. Benzino commented on this stating, Eminem could put words together, but hip-hop is more than rap. It's our culture. Nipsey Hussle is a modern now. Eminem is not a part of that loss. He raps, but he's not part of our struggles and culture. First of all, I think it's safe to assume that most people, even in the black community, didn't know who Nipsey Hussle was before he passed away, and proof of this is how his debut studio album performed. Albums from mumble rappers and even from artists like 6ix9ine outperformed Nipsey's album when it released, and he only got all this praise after he passed away. They only love you when you're gone, and if that's what Benzino stands for, he can keep his culture of glorifying people when they're gone to himself. No one in their right mind should want that, when people only pay attention when you're gone, and I'll also make the assumption that even Benzino likely didn't know who Nipsey was when he was alive. Now that he's gone, he represents the culture, and Eminem is not a part of it because he said so. Eminem shared many struggles that many face in the culture, like poverty, fatherlessness, living in dangerous hoods, but moved out when he made it, just like Jay-Z and the others. So what exactly is Zeno talking about that doesn't apply to any other successful black rapper? Now, like I've said countless times, it's usually the bottom of the barrel that say these things about Eminem, and you won't hear people like Kanye, Wayne, Rakim, or Jay make such ignorant statements. A quick Google search suggests that Benzino is worth $500,000, and in the eyes of the regular street brother, even Benzino is not a part of the struggle. Now, grilling time is upon us, and if you're enjoying this, smash that like button. The likes are free. And if you're with us for the first time, subscribe and turn on notifications. Now, in the sauce, I mean sauce like ketchup, Eminem said that regardless of how many times he does charity by mentioning Benzino, that Benzino will never blow. You need to know that at the time this was going on, Eminem was at the height of global popularity in music, selling over 100,000 copies even on slow weeks of the year just in the United States. So Benzino was essentially getting global marketing worth millions of dollars from Eminem when Eminem mentioned his name. So let's head over to the RIAA's website to see if Benzino could capitalize on any of this free marketing worth millions of dollars. Personally, I know if Eminem keeps mentioning ETLifestyle in songs, I know I'd have over 1 million subscribers easily on YouTube. But let's see how Zeno did with his lottery ticket. I type in Benzino, hit enter, and this is what I get. Unfortunately, the search produced no certifications. Please try another search. Head over to his wiki, and the highlight of his wiki page is filled with Eminem. Now you might say, but sales don't mean anything. But let me give you some context. Back then, if music consumers were feeling the music of an artist, even if it was just a small minority, piracy wasn't at catastrophic levels, and part of the culture was supporting artists by purchasing their albums. So even with a small fan base, many were still able to earn at least a certification or two. So artists with their names out there on a mainstream level were able to sell albums and at least earn even just a gold certification. But despite marketing worth millions of dollars from Eminem and his crew, Benzino still didn't blow. His highest charting album peaked at number 65 on Billboard 200, and his highest charting single peaked at number 82 on the Hot 100. You need to bear in mind that Eminem saying something positive about a rapper doesn't create the same buzz it does when it's beef. So those numbers are catastrophic for an artist that tried to capitalize on his global fame at that time because he was beefing with the artists of the 21st century in his peak years. To this day, Benzino only managed to chart one song on the Hot 100, and his album Best peaked at number 65 with alleged sales of 20,000 first week. So who do you think Benzino blames for this abysmal performance, despite all the marketing worth millions? Of course, it doesn't blame himself. Does Benzino sound like someone who'll take personal responsibility in matters like this? It showed us that the answer is no. It's MTV's fault. It's the fault of the American people who didn't like him because he wasn't blonde. It's the fault of the world. It's everyone's fault that we couldn't see his talent and appreciate his music. Now this dude that failed despite getting free marketing worth millions believe he's in a position to tell us about who's a part of the culture. The stats show that even the people he's trying to speak for don't consider him to be a part of the culture since they didn't support him. But that doesn't stop him from thinking he's some kind of gatekeeper in hip-hop, awfully similar to Jerome's case. Zeno made sure to work with people that had issues with Eminem and his crew, people with issues with 50 Cent, banking on controversy, and he still didn't blow. Now that we're done with the commercial side of Benzino, let's look at things from the perspective of his ability as a rapper. I didn't talk about this first because there's not much to say in this area, and even the biggest Benzino fans know that he's below average when it comes to ability, lyricism, delivery, or even his ability to just make a good song. Funny enough, I've met one person that was a Benzino fan during the feud between Eminem's crew and Ja Rule's crew. He was a fan of Ja Rule, so it made sense, and even when we talked about these things, he admitted several times that he is well aware of the fact that Eminem is better than these guys, but it was a personal decision for him because he preferred Ja Rule's duet kind of songs like Always on Time, but I was the polar opposite. Those songs weren't my cup of tea. So to end it, do you think Benzino is in a position to be stating who's a part and who's not a part of the culture, when the facts show that even the culture never accepted him in the first place? You already know where I stand, but what do you think? Tell us in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, or donate if you'd like to support the channel. See you on the next one.